Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 22. It's time for the Finnish GP. It's time for a very wet race here in the Kymiring. So here we are in pole position in a dry qualifying which we absolutely dominated. Now it's time for the race. So Grant gets the whole shot, or do we get the whole shot? We got a good drop off the line there. Now we get into the first position. We certainly do. Hold the line, hold the position. Into the first corner, we now get the change of direction for two in these terrible conditions here in the Finnish GP. But into turn 4 we made a small error. Is someone going to take over at the front? Not quite. Celestino Vietti still behind by a roughly 0.3 of a second. Augusto Fernandez up there in the podium hunt in the early stages of this Grand Prix. Now I will be honest, I do feel really good around the circuit, and having changed my opinion about the circuit recently, I do feel like we can just break away to the front and just completely disappear from the rest of them. But the wet weather conditions certainly do add an alternative that I'm not particularly confident in, and of course I haven't forgotten about the wet weather guide coming very soon on MotoGP 22. We're now into turn 9 for the left hand side. Keep it in nice and tight, and we're going to just be gently balancing that throttle around this circuit. Too much acceleration is going to spin up the rear and send us flying, so we have to be very careful, and the same can be said with the front brake, so I don't want to be slamming it on for any particular corner. But so far, so good. Only using power setting 2 as of yet. It does look like Augusto Fernandez, Chantry, looks like Vietti slipped backwards as well actually. Oh, and speaking of Chantry, he's down and out, and I do not see Iagori. Was up there in the early stages of the lap, but I don't know what's happened to him now. But for now, it does look like Grant's got the perfect race going as of yet, with a 1.7 second advantage to Augusto Fernandez. Now for the change direction for turn 14, going to be very difficult corners, especially into the final one here for turn 15. You could see how tentative we were on the brakes this time around. The heart rate's still high as well, of course. Tense conditions here in this sodden, treacherous track of the Kymiring right now. So into the first corner though, we have to brake there really early, and it always catches me well off guard, but managing to get it done this time around, we're going to have a 1.2 second advantage to Augusto Fernandez behind. So bear in mind, we are only using power setting 2, which is not a bad decision, because we're not really going to be bringing on the power too abruptly and getting the rear wheel to spin. But in these longer straights, we are going to lose the advantage to Fernandez behind. You can see already the gap has dipped between 1 second and 9/10 for the very first time. We have to certainly keep an eye on this one, and of course don't forget the AI do get stronger as the race progresses. A small twitch there as Joe Roberts finds himself up into the podium position, so great news for the American fans. Joe Roberts up into 3rd place in the second lap of 6 to be done here in the Kymiring, as Celestino Vietti once again finds himself off of the podium. But now it's down to this. It's just going to be a race, a battle of attrition if you will, a race of survival. We'll see what we can produce, but for now we seem to be pretty confident. It's pretty good. As long as we can stay like this, we'll be pretty satisfied for the rest of the Grand Prix. And of course guys, if you are enjoying the video so far, be sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing, as we just drop off the curb ever so slightly there. Almost a big moment. Could have been much worse, but we are still very much strong on the Boscoscura chassis at the stage of the Grand Prix. So bringing it into the left hand side, a little bit of front brake there, but gently release it coming into 13. Don't want to be trail braking too abruptly for the 13th corner of the Kymiring. Soon find yourself down and out of the Grand Prix. So into the right hand side, still yet to find victory for a couple of races, so I'm hoping with the position we're in right now, this could be the race to get us back into the podium positions and back onto the top step of the podium, more importantly. So looking at the top 8, seeing some interesting names up there right now. Look at Zonta van der Goorberg, the fastest man on track right now. A 1:57.972 goes the Dutchman, and look at that, 6/10 of a second quicker than my lap time a moment ago. The gap still seems to be roughly the same to Augusto Fernandez, but if the AI is going to start putting in laps like that, I'm going to have to be a little bit concerned. So the heart rate will still stay high for now, because of course tense conditions. Will it go any higher? Will it go even crazier? Joe Roberts now moved up into 2nd position, The gap has just plummeted to 0.6 of a second, yet we're actually going a little bit quicker. Yellow flags out behind, so someone has met their demise in this Grand Prix. Not entirely sure who it was, but you can see in the graphic in the bottom left hand corner of your screen, this is one massive snake. This is a huge bunch of riders all battling pretty much in a row. The only person to get a little bit of a distance is of course us into the first position, but the rest of them are so neck and neck. It's unbelievable. It's one massive snake. Unbelievable. But into the fourth sector, or at least approaching the end of the third split and then going into the fourth sector in just a moment's time, or at least a corner's time, we'll get a good indication of where Joe Roberts is. Still roughly a second behind, so as long as we can continue this pace, we should be pretty solid. The medium tyres are beginning to get a little bit worn, but that will be the same for the rest of the ride as well. Technically yes, but also no, because I don't believe the AI actually suffer from tyre degradation, hence the reason why they get stronger as the race progresses. But then again, I'm not entirely sure, because sometimes we can do the same lap times and they just happen to get a little bit quicker towards the latter stages of the Grand Prix. But across the line, this will be lap 3 completed. We now have 3 more laps to go, so they're reaching the halfway point. Joe Roberts behind in second place, Grant in the lead with a 3.5 of a second. It is coming down. Marcel Schrotter now the fastest man on track. He's up into 8th position. Zonta van der Goorberg now getting ahead of Celestino Vietti. He's up into 4th place, battling with the front runners. Great to see. Love to see those names that you don't always see up there, but this time Zonta's up there, and he could potentially get a podium here. Quick look behind us to see where everyone else is. You can see the massive line of them, but a 0.5 of a second advantage should be pretty solid as we break after the big MotoGP 22 sign, and now go into turn 5. A little bit tentatively, I won't lie, we're a little bit nervous going into turn 5. It's a corner I feel pretty strong with in the dry conditions, and I was gaining a lot of time on the AI there, but I seem to be losing time now. So the difference in the wet weather is certainly apparent here in the Kymiring as of this part of the Grand Prix, but only a couple more laps remaining. Joe Roberts is bringing on the pressure, 0.7 of a second. Is he going to be there? Is he going to be able to show us a front wheel at some point? But the gap does just teeter around 0.8 of a second. It's certainly sticking around. We're not losing him, but we're also getting quicker ourselves. So this is a point where the AI is beginning to get pretty strong, and they're going to get a little bit more intimidating as this race progresses. A little bit deep into turn 12, but that's okay. Try and avoid the rumble strips as much as you can, because they do get a little bit treacherous in these wet conditions. And we lost all that advantage by messing up that final corner there, or at least turn 12 into the final sector. That was a damn shame. We really lost around 3 to 4 of a second in that moment. So now the gap, which was increasing steadily, has dropped back down to 0.5, now up to 0.7, but I'm guessing Joe Roberts will get a better exit out that line there. So into the 58s again, so still pretty consistent with the lap times. Very consistent as a matter of fact. It's all very much the same, and goodness me, Joe Roberts up on the inside just barges through. Goodness me. A man with absolute zero remorse there just went straight up on the inside. Not a care in the world. And now we're going to have to try and defend the position, but Joe Roberts is on the attack. Here comes the American. Power setting 2 for us. Maybe we should consider 3, because look how quick Joe Roberts got past us there. Okay, so power setting 3 it is to try and get or at least regain the position, or at least have a little pop at him. As Augusto Fernandez is mentioned in the bottom right corner of your screen, you've just seen him just showing a wheel, and there he is up on the inside, now into turn 5. Pushing back, pushing off the track there almost. And now into turn 6, we're down from 1st to 3rd in about 3 corners. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. This is going heck to a handbasket here, but we'll fight back up in the inside of Augusto Fernandez, and now we'll do battle with Joe Roberts up on the inside with power setting 3. That is the key. Beautiful retaliation there from the World Championship leader and Moto 3 World Champion, of course, and soon to be bound up into MotoGP. I have signed a MotoGP contract. Who will it be with? That's down to you to find out, or at least guess in the comment section down below. But into the right hand side for turn 11. Oh, and Joe Roberts has gone down. Can you believe it? The main antagonist in this video, as if you wish, has just gone down. The main challenger. He was really pushing me hard here into the Kymiring, but unfortunately for him, he has met his demise. What a wasted opportunity for the American. Disaster has struck. But Celestino now has regained the position up to second place. He's been waiting for that moment. I think he's just been biding his time and waiting for a chance to shine. Is this the time? On the penultimate lap, we get across the line. We are going to improve to our personal best lap time of the race, a 1:58.172. Every single lap time into the 1:58, so you can't beat the consistency. But now, I'm going to give it everything. Back down to power setting 2 for the final lap. Let's push like crazy. Into the right hand side for turn 4. Keep it in nice and tight. Slow on the acceleration, not to bring it on too quickly. And we do have a second advantage, just Celestino Vietti behind. So quick apologies as well, guys, regarding my voice in this one. I'm still a little bit groggy, and I don't know if it sounds alright or not, but I guess it can't be that bad so far if he's still here. So excuse me for having a little bit of a, somewhat of a dodgy voice today. But into turn 5, moving on from the side note, we are 0.4 of a second quicker on this lap this time around. So if we keep that going, that will be the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and at a time where we really need it, because this race is far from over, ladies and gentlemen. Celestino Vietti in second, Augusto Fernandez in third. They're definitely pushing me as much as possible, but we do have a good second advantage now. We didn't have this ages ago, but we have it now, and that's all that matters. So into the right hand side for turn 10. It feels like you're going to drop the front every time into the right hander there, but we're still hanging on. The bike is bucking and weaving, slipping and sliding. As we now go to the right hand side for 11 for the final time of asking, do we have the victory in the grasp? 1 second behind is Celestino Vietti. Someone's gone down behind. Who cares about that for now? Jake Dixon slotted himself up to 7th place. Augusto Fernandez has put himself into 2nd. Celestino dropped into 3rd. Will he lose the podium to Zonta van der Gorberg? I guess we'll find out with about 2 more corners to go. 14 tackled pretty well. Firm on the brakes for the final corner for the final time here in Finland. It looks like we're going to get the job done. Across the line, victory beckons. The man on your screens, Grant takes the victory here in the Kymiring. So a slowly drying Grant wins the Grand Prix here in Kymiring. Augusto Fernandez takes 2nd and Celestino Vietti finishes in 3rd. So a look at the championship standings, and well, 87 points clear from Augusto Fernandez. It's not over yet, but that's quite a comfortable gap, and Tony Arbolino in 3rd with 118 points behind. So a quick look at the team championship, and the MB Conveyors Speed Up Moscow Scorer chassis is still in the lead. 24 points clear from Red Bull KTM and 36 clear from Mark VDS. So it's good to see the wet weather making a return here in the Kymiring and in MotoGP 22, of course. Great race and different situations. It's always good to be pressured and pushed in another way like that. But guys, I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.